Back in 2017, Cummins spent a big heap of money to invest in a joint venture with the transmission specialist Eaton. It was, in my opinion, a really smart move by both companies, because what it did, it brought the engine and the transmission into one package, and that's something they both needed to do to combat the vertical integration of the Europeans. The first evolution of that joint venture is what we're seeing here, and it's called Cummins Integrated Power, which effectively takes an X15 with an Eaton UltraShift Plus, and the goal of the whole exercise is to provide extremely good fuel economy, but critically, it has to perform, because the last thing you want is a driver who's offside and doesn't like the way an engine performs. Anyway, to get the real story, we'll go and talk to the experts from both companies. I'm here with Mike Fowler inside Cummins headquarters in Scoresby. Tell us about Cummins Integrated Power. What drove it and what is it?
Cummins Integrated Power is really a concept. And for many years, perhaps decades even, we've been in the business of integrating Cummins engines into trucks and buses and all sorts of different on-highway vehicles. But I think as we sort of enter a new era of technology, particularly around vehicle efficiency management technology pieces, that level of integration goes to a new level.
Yep.
So really what Cummins Integrated Power is the technology that we're employing, such as autonomous braking, lane departure warning, and all of those types of things as to how we integrate that into the vehicle seamlessly.
You know, there's a lot of competition in the market now, and I think Eaton and Cummins had to go down this path to deliver product that in combination delivered what operators want, and that's, you know, fuel efficiency. There's a lot of competition for the operators within the market, and you know, we had to come down this path and give them what they needed.
When I think about integration, I guess first you've got to integrate the organisations. We've got that now with the GV. Then you've got to integrate the people. And when you do that, you can really, truly start to integrate. We started off with some concepts on the paper, on the computer. We ran some simulations. Then we started to do some dinosaur work, and we really believe we had a concept. At the same time, we're working with a tech centre in the US. So when you think about integrated power, it's not just making the engine and transmission work together. We've truly developed the engine calibration and the transmission calibration.
We've always been close with Cummins. I would say over the last 5 to 6 years, that relationship has got closer locally. The engineer, Neil, husband and I probably talk at least 3 or 4 times a week.
We can share lots of data, which really helps us understand, well, when this happens, what's happening with the engine, and vice versa.
We'd been 2 companies working together but separately before. Now we're 2 companies working together but joined, so that's a big difference.
Look, we set ourselves a stretch target, which was really to deliver 3 to 5% fuel economy for B-double on-highway line-haul applications without impacting customer performance. That was part of the challenge, really understanding what the drivers wanted. A driver wants to go fast and he wants to go up a hill real quick. The owner wants fuel economy. So that was a balance for us to try and gauge that and get somewhere in between. And I think with integrated power, we've really achieved that.
And with the closer relationship, we were able to deliver on that. And there was a lot of testing involved in that.
How many trial units have you run to get to the point where you're at now, which I believe is based on an X15 at 550 horsepower, 2,050 pound-feet of torque, and I believe that's from, what, 1,000 to 1,500 RPM?
Yeah.
How long has it taken to get to this point where you're satisfied now?
At least 2 years. In terms of how many trial trucks, you could argue there's about 13,000 of them. It's one of the benefits of having a company-owned distribution network. You really get good insight into what's really going on in the market.
The real focus on the Cummins Integrated Power is down speeding, so faster rear axle ratio, giving lower cruise RPM, and also the change in the torque and horsepower of the engine and the different shape of the torque curve.
One of the things that the drivers like about integrated power, it really looks down on a hill. So we've got a torque curve now that's 2050 at 1,000 RPM.
We've worked on some smoother shifting as well. So really the biggest benefit for the customer is the fuel economy. He's going to see savings in his pocket every time he goes down the road.
Well, tomorrow you've arranged that I'm going to go and drive one of your field test units as a 60-tonne plus B-double.
Yep.
What do you think I'll find?
I think you'll be extremely surprised at how slick the integration is in terms of the shift quality and the ability of the powertrain to make a good decision.
All right, well, I look forward to it, and we'll talk again tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Mike. Lyndon Watson, still a family-owned company and proud of it?
Yeah, we are. Still family business. We've got sites in Brisbane and Melbourne as well, and one in Wodonga.
Truck of choice is Kenworth these days?
Yeah, you can't get past its longevity.
The way automation has developed, I think drivers are becoming more and more accustomed to it these days. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, they are. There's a lot more acceptance, even in the stalwarts of those manual gearboxes. Once they've spent about a month or so in an automatic gearbox, a lot of the guys just won't go back. We should go for a drive. It's like take it for a spin.
I'll go for a drive as long as I can drive.
Yeah, go for it, mate. Not a problem, Steve.
One thing I've noticed with this, Ultra Shift seems to be smoother than I remember it ever being in the past. This version of it just seems so smooth and far more intuitive than some of its predecessors.
It's come a long way.
It has, by the look of this, yeah.
So when you point it into a hill, it really feels nice, and the drivers like that. So I really do believe we've got a product with integrated power which is as good as the OEMs.
So your drivers are happy driving this?
Yeah, can't sing their praises enough. So
what about the old school drivers who like the manual?
Well, we purposely put, in this first truck, we purposely put an operator in it that was a bit of a die-hard, old-fashioned manual box Kenworth guy. So that's why we're confident that it doesn't matter what driver we put in the vehicle has enough sparks in the driveline to still achieve those same good results on fuel.
Are you happy where you're at now?
I'm extremely happy where we're at right now. I wouldn't suggest for a second that it's the end of the journey though. There's a lot more work to do.
And you're going to see more adept technologies, in the coming years as we get new technology. So Euro 6, for example, we've got new platforms, we've got a lot of cool new features.
Obviously in the future, with the Endurant platform, there's going to be an 18-speed version of that. So we continue the integration work that's already been done in the US and then optimise it again for our market.
How many of these Cummins Integrated Power units do you run now, Lyndon?
So we're running 6 of them at the moment. We got this one early because it was just such a stretch on the driveline that there were a lot of drivers that didn't have faith that the vehicle would be able to do it. And so we ran it, we had it in service for 2 months, had glowing results from the vehicle, and that's when we ordered the next 5. They've been in service now since late last year.
Yep.
And again, we're that happy with them. We're actually about to receive another 6 of them over the next month or so.
There's huge benefits for the operators and the fleet owners, and there's benefits for the drivers as well. So when you cover both of those avenues, you're set.
It's been a real pleasure to drive it, so thanks a heap for the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, no, not a problem at all.
If the object of this exercise was to judge or at least critique the compatibility of the Cummins X15 and its low RPM formula with the latest Ultra Shift Plus, you'd have to say that they got it right. Look, when it's all boiled down, this is the highest evolution you'll ever see at the current stage of development between a Cummins X15 and an Eaton Ultra Shift Plus. This is a really, really tidy package, extremely strong, and I'll give you the tip, it's the best it's been.